Hello YouTube. In this video I'm going to demonstrate a tool I created to build a document automation system using Microsoft Word. I don't think a lot of people know what's possible creating custom solutions with Microsoft Word. There certainly isn't a lot of YouTube videos demonstrating these concepts. With a little imagination and fair amount of work, here's a tool that may help spark your own document automation solution. So if you find this video helpful, please like and leave a comment. Before we jump into the tool, we need to understand some of the basic workflows and how the application was created was based on specific groups. For instance, the RMTs, FSS, and the HSS. These are specific groups that function within this tool, and each group has a specific set of assigned functionalities that they can do within the tool, and this is meant to protect the documents that are being created and the workflows that are being generated. In this slide, we see that the RMTs are the starting point for the document creation process. The document is launched from their desktop, which reaches out to a network configuration file to pull in specific values so the document can function. Once the document has been saved appropriately to a network location, this is when the document can actually start being generated and then modified, and the act of creating the document also generates a log file that accounts for every action that the user does inside of the document. As the RMTs finish creating the document and making modifications to the document is a workflow is started where the RMT emails the FSS with a link to where the document is located. As the FSS performs their changes, for example, maybe changing the header, adding some clip text, or inserting their own signature, in turn, they email the HSS with a link on the network location where the specific document lives on the network. All of this is happening while every action is being captured within the log file. As the HSS performs their modifications to the document, for example, changes the header, inserts clip text, inserts their own signature, or possibly inserts other signatures, for example, the FSS, when their changes are done, they send it back to the RMTs to print out as a PDF, which in turn is mailed to the corresponding parties. And again, while all these modifications are taking place, all actions by all users are being captured within the log file. As this workflow is taking place, understand that the actual document and the log file is password protected and located on a network location where the client cannot delete the file. As the actions are being captured within the log file, they are also being captured within a reporting file that is delegated to the HSS to run reports against any document that has been created. Pertaining to the workflow, this is an example of an email that was generated by the RMT that was sent to the FSS. Looking at the email item itself, we can see this subject line does have customization. We have a header inside the body of the email, which is customizable, as well as a footer that is customizable. The link to the document within the body is automatically generated and put inside the email body. And again, all documents that are created and log files are password protected and cannot be unlocked unless you know the password. This is a brief example of a report that was generated for one document. This is a brief example of a log file that demonstrates the file is protected. This is a brief example of an audit log file and all of the actions that took place in the creation and modification of a document. So before we get back into the actual working demo, let's go over some of the accomplishments of this application. Document automation, the assembly of creating many documents per our business needs. Limit client clicks, which is limiting potential errors. Predetermined network locations, this facilitates the workflow. Automatic document links. We have an audit trail. We have reporting. We protect our documents and audit logs. And we can control who has what kinds of functionality and access into the application. Right now I'm signed in as the RMT to my Windows 7 box. This box has Office 2013 installed. This tool was actually developed against Office 2016 through an instance of Office 365. I'm now going to launch and start the process of creating a new document. As the document opens up, everything is based on the reference number, and in this case I am going to use a reference number that already exists within the system just to demonstrate the referral files. So clicking into the referral number text box, I'm going to paste in my number and give it a description. And let's select save. I'm now presented with another form, and notice I provided the referral number and the description. The document was actually saved to the network with the specific name that I gave it. It did not even ask me the location on where to save it. This is another example of saving the client clicks, thus reducing possible errors. But looking through this form, we see that we have a couple different text boxes, and for victims' names we have nothing, perps we have nothing, and demographics we do have some values in here. These values are actually saved locally, but they can be overwritten based on the referral file. Now in this example I'm going to use an existing referral file, and notice it takes us directly to the referral folder. Now just as an example, if I select a referral file that does not match the original referral number that I typed in, it will throw an error saying that the referral file is incorrect. So let me select the correct one. And notice that now we have populated our victims, perpetrators, demographics, and now we just need to select the disposition type letter. And for this example, and let's select done, and let's confirm our values. We have just created our document. Scrolling down, we can take a quick look at what our document looks like. We can also launch the Edit Document toolbar. This allows us easy navigation directly into the document and then back up. So let's start adding our findings. These text boxes are contextual, meaning that as I make one selection, it will dictate other selections that are allowed. As an example, Selecting sexual abuse will change the context of the type. For this example, let's use founded, and we're going to select our level, and I'm just going to make some random selections. Let's take a look at the document. We've just added 2 findings. In this case, we're going to have multiple victims and multiple perpetrators. Let's look at our findings. If I've made a mistake on my 3rd finding, I do have the opportunity to remove this finding and then readjust my selection. And then continuing on, creating additional findings. Let's inspect our document. I now have 4 findings. They're all correct, so now I can move on to my closing statements. And selecting the finalized document, because of the letter type, I'm given the opportunity to add additional text at a specific position within the document. My document has just now been finalized. Select OK. To demonstrate that our document is protected, all I need to do is click into a row and start typing. Notice that we have the Restrict Editing dialog box. I can select Stop Protection, which will give me the opportunity to type in a password to unlock the document. But as the RMT, I do not know the password, so I must continue on using the Edit Document form given to me to complete this document. Notice that we have the header, we have the address, the subject, and our findings. Scrolling down, notice that we also have our footer. Notice that we are on page 1, a document that contains 4 pages. Notice across pages that we have a horizontal line. We need to modify this document to conform to some standard of conformity. Using our tool, we can click into a row and select the Push Text Down button. With the horizontal line on page 2 now, I can continue inspecting the document. Now with this line, It does need to be on the same page with the remainder of the address. Simply selecting Push Text Down will push all of the corresponding text down. I have an option here to toggle the table. Selecting this button, we can now see the structure within the document. Each item of text has been inserted into a specific row at a specific position. Remember the supporting text that we added? Here is the supporting text that we added. Because of the document type that I selected, it gave me the opportunity to add this text per this document. I cannot now click into the row and add my own text because the document is still protected. Reviewing the document further, we can navigate further down and we can see that we have text that's across multiple pages, thus leaving empty spots within page 4. We can easily adjust this by spacing out some of these rows. Clicking into this row on page 3, I can use multiple techniques to space this text out. I can push text down. I can create a new row. Clicking into the new row, I can further push text down. In this instance, I'm going to create another row and keep pushing the text down. As the RMT, my primary concern is to get the document created with the proper content within it. Spacing and formatting is a concern, but it can ultimately also be adjusted by a further upstream FSS or an HSS. To test some of the access controls within this application, I can navigate down to one of the signature lines and try to add a signature. Selecting the signature button produces an access denied message box. I can also select the Tools button to bring up additional tools and attempt to try some more advanced options like removing the header. In this case, the RMT was allowed to remove the header. Let's try to change the header. Selecting Change Header, it takes us directly into the Headers folder. I can select a new header and select Open, and the header is automatically added. Let's navigate down to the bottom of the document. Let's attempt to insert some clip text. Selecting into the row and selecting clip text, and select Add Text to Selected Row. The application recognizes that there's existing text within the row. This is a warning box saying that you may be deleting the existing text. The RMT was allowed to add new text within this row. Using the toolbox, the application was able to adjust the document with new text without the RMT knowing the password to unlock the document. As a boiler template, this document is done and ready for our workflow. Let's email the document as the RMT to the FSS. Selecting the email button produces our staff communication form. We're given a drop down and I need to email my boss, the FSS, and selecting from multiple options. I can even select additional people, myself included, and type the body of the email. And select send. Now notice that we are going to get a Microsoft Outlook security dialog box. Let's select allow. Coming back to our document, it's given me the opportunity to close the document or just close the form. In this case, let's close the document, log in as the FSS, and view our email. I've just logged in as the FSS and I've received the email from the RMT. And notice in the email I do have a link to the specific document the RMT was just working on. As the document opens up, notice it takes us directly to the first page of the document and opens the edit document form. Looking at the document with rows appearing is a good way to gauge where the text falls in the specific positions. But a true representation of the document is to hide the tables. This reflects how the document will actually print. Notice clicking into a row and typing, our document is still protected with the restrict editing dialog box popping up. Let's inspect this document and see how we can further format it. Looking at page 4, I'm going to make changes to these specific lines. I do not like the way that there is separation between each line. Let's show the tables. I'm going to remove this row, and this is a one-time dialog box. Removing the row just brought this up. I'm now going to click into this next row and I'm going to use a backspace function. This is our warning box that text does exist within the row. Select no for a backspace, and I've just formatted the document to bring these two lines together. I'm going to remove this row. Now my supporting text is on page 3. But I'm going to space out some of this information even more. Looking at page 4, I see I have plenty of room to start inserting my signature. Selecting into the row and select signature, select yes for my and select no for another staff signature. I've just entered my signature into page 4. For my purposes, this document is almost done. I now need to send it into the workflow and send it to the HSS. Before doing so, I think I want to take a look at what it's going to look like as it prints. Select the print button and open the PDF. The PDF is the final product for this specific tool. This is how the document will actually print. For demonstration purposes, let's try to insert another staff member's signature. Access denied. To demonstrate further, if I navigate back to page 1 within the document, I've noticed that the header was changed. I'm not exactly sure if this was the correct action by the RMT, so I think I'm going to ask them this specific question. Now I can use a tool within here, opening the tools form and selecting the snipping tool. I can easily take a picture and copy this image into a new email. Type my message and add the image. Hopefully I get a response on why the header was changed. Navigating back to the bottom of the document, I also noticed that the supporting text is not exactly to my liking. I can use the clip text option, and I can easily type in my own text, or I can select the summary text, which already has pre-built templates of text that I can easily add into the specific row that I selected. As the FSS, I believe that I am done with this document. I am now going to enter it into the workflow and send it to the HSS. Now, because I selected the print button, which produced a PDF, the PDF has been created on the network location. Sending this document into the workflow process, the email form recognized that the PDF exists and is asking me if I would like to add it or add the link to the email. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to select yes. And now I need to confirm, select yes, and notice again, Outlook will produce a security dialog box. Select allow, and navigating back to our document will produce a message box asking me to close or close the form. Let's close this document for now. As the HSS, I've received my email from the FSS, and notice within the email I've received two links, one for the Microsoft document and one for the PDF. Well, I know I need to do work within the Microsoft document, so I'm going to start there. Notice as my document opens up, it takes me directly to the document at page 1 and opens up the edit document form. Inspecting the form and navigating down, in general, everything looks okay. In this instance, I'm going to toggle the tables and push down these two lines of text just a few more. Hide the tables. And I may push the FSS signature back up. Let's show the tables. And perform a backspace. In this instance, I need to put in the HSS signature. Selecting into the row and select signature and select yes. The HSS signature has just been inserted into the row. Let's add a couple more backspaces. So far, this document looks good. I do see that we have a phone number here that has recently been changed. I could easily select the tools, bring up clip text, and type in my own number to insert into this row. But because of my access level, I can easily unlock the document and change the phone number to reflect the correct number. So as the HSS, and because of my level of access within the tool, I've realized that I do need to change the signature for the FSS. I've just unlocked the document, so I can easily select the signature and delete. Selecting the signature button and select no to insert another staff member signature. Notice that I've been taken directly to the signatures folder. In this folder, I still do not have rights to delete any files, but I can select the Tommy T signature and insert it into the document. After making additional changes into the document will automatically protect itself, thus requiring the unlocked password to be entered again. To demonstrate this, selecting into a row and typing produces the Restrict Editing dialog box. As the HSS and reviewing this document is ready to be printed and mailed to the concerning parties. Selecting the email button, I can select the RMT staff members, get a listing of all of the RMTs, and type in the body message. And select yes to confirm. And again, notice that Outlook produces a security dialog box. Select allow, and our message has just been sent to the RMT. Coming back to our dialog box, we're given the option to close the document. Select yes. So logged in as the RMT, I've received the HSS email. The document is ready to print and be mailed. Thank you. So let's select our link. Notice the document opens at page 1 directly within the document. Using our Edit Document form, we can navigate all the way up and look at all the settings that were used to produce this document. We can navigate directly into the document's content and move directly to the bottom of the document. Notice that there is actually overflow into a page 5. The RMT has the ability to correct this. This was missed by the HSS and needs to be corrected by the RMT. We can accomplish this easy by selecting within specific rows, and let's remove a row. This is a one-time dialog box per opening the document. And notice we've just removed the row within page 5. We can also remove an additional row. And we've just brought the total page count to 4. Considering I've received instruction from the HSS to print and send this, let's select the print button. Notice the rows have been removed and select OK to open the PDF. This PDF is the final product that will be printed and mailed off to the concerning parties. Logged in again as the HSS, I'm concerned that case referral number 432423, the document that was just worked on, did not get mailed and sent. I want to run a report and find out exactly who's been working on this document and what's been done at what dates and what time. Using the tool on my desktop, I can double click, and at the same dialog screen that the RMT would typically type in a reference number, as the HSS with privileges to run reports, I'm going to select the Reports button. With availability to two separate reports, for right now I'm going to look at the audit tracking. Selecting audit tracking and run reporting tool. My report opens up and I need to format this very simply by clicking into a cell, insert, and let's create a pivot table. With the pivot table created, I can easily select the specific items of interest that I need. I've just added date and case number to the rows, and notice that I have many dates with many case numbers. I can simply right click on a specific date and let's collapse the entire field. I can easily select multiple dates, right click, and keep only the selected items. Scrolling back up and clicking into the pivot table, I can add additional fields to get additional information. Adding 3 additional fields in the specific sequence that I need, I'm concerned with referral number or caseload 432423. I can see that the RMT received and worked on this caseload at 9:08 p.m. and at 10:10 p.m. on March 3rd. Now, this may be a good reference on when the document was modified, but it's not giving me the exact information on what was performed within the document. The auditing tracking report is a very high level report just to depict the dates and times specific staff members may have modified a specific document. For a more in-depth analysis on specific reference or case loads, let's select the caseload tracking report. Let's select the data option on the ribbon, select column A, and select text to column. Make sure delimited is selected, and next. Let's add this character as other and select next and finish. Notice that we have just formatted or delimited this specific report. Selecting into one cell and navigating to Insert and Pivot Table, let's create a pivot table. And now we need to make our field selections. With the additional fields selected to our rows and navigated down to the specific date of March 3rd, and looking for the caseload or reference number of 432423, we can see the workflow on how this specific caseload was created by the RMT, was moved to the FSS, and signature was added, a PDF created, clip text added, and then it was emailed to the HSS, who added their signature, unlocked the document, and added an additional signature, and then emailed the document. The document was then received by the RMT at 10:13, where they had created the PDF that's ready to print. If we need additional information on what the RMT specifically did, we can easily select the audit log path field, and getting the path to the specific audit log for this specific entry. Let's copy this path and close the tool, and pasting in the audit log path and select enter. We've just opened the audit log for case referral 432423, and notice that the RMT did select the PDF Create Ready to Print button. But also notice the RMT deleted 2 rows at position 69 and 70. As the HSS, I was unaware of these actions taking place. This may be concerning to me, and I may want to inspect this document further. Navigating back to our report, I can deselect the audit log, go to the document path, copy the document path, and insert into the run line, and open the actual document and see exactly what was done at these specific positions. So we finally reached the end of this video and this demonstration of this tool. I hope you found something in it that was helpful. If so, please don't forget to comment, and of course, please like.